Hey guys, welcome to Straight Talk with Shay, and you are hanging out with me today. No Derek, no Otis, just Shay. And I have some amazing guests that are going to be joining me that I get to interview all by myself. I get to kick Derek, Otis, everybody out and interview the amazing Ridgell family. They have been a part of the Forston Consulting family for, I'm going to let them tell it because I'm not going to steal none of their time from them in this. So let you all meet Dornico and Cynthia Ridgell. Go ahead, introduce yourself, guys, and tell us a little bit about you all.
I am Cynthia Ridgell, and I am the spouse of Dornico Ridgell. Both of us are co-founders of Fresh Start Housing of Dayton. And at the beginning of this year, we really had no idea that we would be in the place where we are right now. I was actually trying to find a way to pay off my mortgage within 6 or 7 years. And the person that I met with to do that, I'm going to give him a shout out. His name is Daniel.
Yes, Mr. Don.
Yes. Yeah, so he has the pill method. So if anybody wants to pay off their mortgage within 7 years, he's going to be the person you go to for that. But I was meeting with him, and in looking at our financial situation, he saw that, we had enough money saved up to leverage our income. So he said, have you ever thought about housing the homeless or housing emancipated youth, veterans? So I had my thought. I was like, yes, emancipated youth, that would be a good thing. So he just kind of implanted that vision in my head. And then Dornico, had a vision to house the veterans. So he gave us Derek's name and contact information. And moving on from there, we watched the webinar. And I actually, before even meeting up with Derek, purchased it. And he said, you guys must be crazy.
That part, Shay.
But
okay.
I mean, wow. Derek and I had an amazing conversation because that night, the next morning we woke up and we noticed that somebody had flooded all of our social media for Forston Consultants and liked every post. Derek was like, okay, I don't know what is going on, but whoever these people are, like, they are on everything and they're just liking. And he was like, then he checked the account and he was like, they purchased the platinum package. And he was like, can you go through our CRM and see if we've had any communication, anything like that, to kind of see had we spoken to you guys, and like where do you guys just pop up from? Like y'all popped up on us. So talk to us. What did you see on the social media side that really got you going and just to jump out there and do it without even having a conversation with us?
Well, I'll speak a little bit, but she pretty much had her mind set as far as getting it. As far as due diligence, checking all the social media, it was clear that ministry was at the forefront. Yes. It was also clear that money was following this particular ministry and that we can kind of do good while doing good.
Yeah.
If you will, right? So it was, for me, I seen a clear shot of building something, and it was kind of cool that she was on board. She was pretty much pushing the same thing. I jump behind her and I support her in pretty much any crazy idea she'll have anyway. So with something that I kind of had a like mind about, it was for me easy to get on board with that. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and I would say that he has been the one that has really been the backbone of this. He's done everything. So from getting the clientele to building the relationships with social workers, whatnot, to putting the house together. He's the one that's been the one to do this. And I've been behind the scenes, speaking and telling him what to do and getting on his nerves and all that good jazz.
So what would you all say has been, as a couple, I think this will really speak to a lot of couples. We've noticed that most of our most successful individuals that we've collaborated with or even consulted with in this field have been strong couples. So I would say, what are some of the obstacles you both have faced entering into like a true business partnership thus far? Like, what would you say one of the obstacles is that you would want to share?
I totally believe that when God shows you something, you have to act on it.
Yeah,
But sometimes when you're dealing with your spouse, you either God's giving you verbiage to like convince, or I'm like, okay. I always tease about saying, okay, Lord, you told me, now tell her. But even even if it's heated fellowship, I know that I can trust God to smooth that thing out because I
yeah,
believe so strongly that He said what He said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, Lord, I'm risking everything here. I might push her over the edge. I don't know, but He's like, trust me, and I got it. So that's what I do. I pretty much, for me having all of the fears and that I would have, I'm still able to say, okay, Lord, I'm gonna buckle down. I'm gonna trust you. If this thing goes left, you know what I mean? Okay, but it's more so I was challenged, and I feel that as a business partner, she's free to challenge me. And it was a time where it didn't look, but I knew in my heart what God can do with my
yeah,
yes, Lord. So basically,
yeah,
we found ourselves at one point not knowing if we was gonna get people, to a point where we got so many people that, especially in our men's house, you know what I mean, that wow, we need a new house like right now. But with the ladies, the Midwest is a little weird. Ladies, you know what I'm saying? So I'm noticing, I know a little bit, but I gotta open my ears to her when it comes to ladies, because there's
yeah,
things that I just ain't gonna know about. And
yeah,
she's been right, so I have to listen. I have to listen at times, even though like I'm a little savvy when it comes to negotiation and selling something, an idea
Very
or a
much so.
product. But human nature, when it comes to ladies, those particular types of ladies, she can kind of, pull me in on something I'm not really. It's like I believe everybody's nice and gonna do well and just gonna love people the way I love people, and everybody's honest. No, that's not the case. Some people plan you, and I'm like,
yeah.
okay, so there I am. That's what one of the obstacles I would say is there between us. She may have another one, but
No, actually, I'm just going to elaborate on what you said just to be more
Mm-hmm.
specific. So when we got our first house, I had in mind that we were just kind of going to sit on that for a while just to learn the business and the do's and the don'ts, And Dornico, 1 month in, was ready to go to the second house. I'm like, no, wait a minute, hold up, because we're still trying to learn this one. And ultimately, he won because we did get the second house, and it did take a while for us to fill it up. But right now, it is. I wouldn't say it's all the way full, but we're like one person away from it being there.
Right.
So, yeah. So basically, having this man's house full is helping pay for the lady's house.
And
Yeah.
alleviating some of the stress. I know for us,
Yeah.
we're more cautious. Women tend to be a lot more cautious. And I think that's kind of where you guys, that struggle can be. So I had to learn too, because Derek went from one house to 7 to 10. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like, what is happening right now?
Right.
So it's learning how to buckle in for the most part, and being able to trust the vision.
Right.
So with
Absolutely.
that said, what would be a piece of advice that you would give other couples getting ready to enter into this space in regards to how they can lean or rely on each other to get through this particular struggle? Because it is, I had it. And that's the struggle of being able to allow your partner, your husband, in this sense, be the one that sees the vision to expand and go for it. But like, what would you give them in advice? Like, how can they manage that? How can they tread those waters?
I think really, really honing in on what's being taught. Like if you trust your coaches, and they're the example for you, you can kind of navigate, because I mean, hopefully they love the Lord the way we love the Lord. That's number one. But I know that we win either way, whether she does A or B or I do A or B, we still win. So if her strength is something that mine isn't, it's still my strength. We won anyway. That's something that I kind of don't understand. We are one, so we win. I look at it as being, I'm the tech guy. We got reverse
Yeah,
roles. You're the
we
tech
do.
lady. You see what I'm saying? But it's like
Yeah,
there's so many similarities. But with that thing, I do the interior decorating. I do that kind of stuff. It's just
Derek
something
loves
that,
it too. He thinks
yeah,
he's Mr. HGTV hat.
right. But that I think she wouldn't hesitate when it comes to
Right.
interior decorating. She already know what I'm gonna bring to the table.
No
You
hesitation.
know what I'm saying? She's not gonna hesitate when it comes to sales, negotiation, things like that. I'm gonna do what I gotta do with my family in mind. So I think
Yeah,
you gotta have a clear understanding of your partner's strengths and abilities, and what they bring to the table, and how effective it is when you both lock in together. You
that's
know.
good.
Right.
That is so good. I get the opportunity to interview another couple that we've launched, and I can't wait because I want to ask them that same question. And I already know a little bit of their story, so it's a little bit deeper than you all's, but you have to see that one, and we may do like a couples get together on here and just talk about ILFs and stuff like that. I think that's a good idea, huh? What y'all think about that?
I think that's
Getting a
good.
couple of couples together and let's just hash it out and air our dirty laundry, our
Mhm.
ILF laundry. But I really appreciate that. That is amazing, and very encouraging. So my next question would be to you guys is how do you feel you are progressing as ILF owners? Like how from where you started, because you only been in this for how long?
Since
February 11th.
her birthday actually.
Yeah, that's when we got our first
Really?
person.
Yeah.
Well, we actually got the keys
Wow.
to the house on February 1st, didn't we? And then, yeah, we took in our first customer February 11th.
Got it. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say? Yeah, give us some insight on where you are now compared to like just the progress. Talk to me about your progress.
I think it's the confidence level. It is the way we conduct business. From the assessment all the way to intake. Things are a little bit more precise now, more fluent now. Before, I just didn't want to fail. Before, I wanted to make sure I did everything correctly.
Yeah.
Now I see exactly what needs to be done for all parties involved. I know this person needs to be what better than what he is right now or she is right now. But I also know the numbers got to make sense. I know that I cannot disrupt a peaceful home. I know
Yeah.
that everybody in there matters, and what their little button is, whether how big, I can't bring in a personality that will trigger that person. So I know the importance of a lot of more, a few more things than I did when we started.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as business, organization has to be key.
That's
I,
right.
I we got to start
Yeah.
pretty much making sure all of our ducks are in a row as far as what we do and how we keep track of what we do. So I'm paying attention to all of that. But the scaling is exciting, and seeing the growth and seeing down the road, and it's not hazy no more. It's a clear picture. I see what 5 houses is going to look like and feel like. I see what 10 houses, what
Yeah.
it's going to do for our community. And also, it's one of those things where I can be successful, and it ain't gonna cost me tons of years and stress and debt. I can be successful because God made a way for me to be successful.
Oh my God,
Period.
that is so good.
It's one
That
of
is
those
so
things.
good.
So you go to church all your life, you got
Yeah.
your Bible, you praise Him, you singing in the choir, you're doing all of this stuff faithfully.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that ain't doing nothing, they doing all kinds of wrong, and they living like kings, so we think. God said everything in you, like your answered prayer, I put everything in you, my gifts, my abilities in my hand. So if,
Yeah.
if I can get my mind to submit to God's will. I'm already saying yes, Lord, physically. I'm already attending church, doing everything I'm supposed
Wow.
to do. Why is my mind trapped? Why is my mind stuck in a place where lack is like the reality? And it shouldn't be. So I just simply freed my mind and surrendered all to God and say, okay, Lord, if this is the vehicle, you're choosing to use for me to liberate us financially, let's go. If all I gotta do is give it all of me, let's go. And that's where we are with that. And I'm very, very passionate about that. You can call it rolling the dice, risk, or whatever, but that's me saying God cannot fail because his word won't return unto him void. He
That's it.
promised me all of his promises. I know that mine, I believe that he's able. And it,
Yeah.
it's not a beautiful song, it's reality. He's able. But it is a beautiful song. Anyway.
That's a whole sermon. Like, let's be real. We get the privilege. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and I just explained to her, I said, when Derek first stepped out and told me this is what he wanted to do, I would have never in a million years expected the housing market to be where it's at right now, for just to see the influx of the need, and that God positioned us before the rubber really met the road, to build this family of individuals that are like-minded, looking to do something to help alleviate the strain and struggle on homelessness. And then again, to fast forward to where we are today and see that it was preparation for today. Think about what we're doing. 7, 8 years ago, were you guys looking, really looking forward to say, man, there's going to be a housing market issue. People's rents are going to go up by $500 in the next 30 days because they have to renew and not going to be able to afford it. Let's talk about that. Like, what are you guys seeing in your market in regards to the homeless population? What populations are you encountering most often?
Most often is that mother, that father, and those 3 kids. I don't know why that number 3 is there, but I've had up to 5 kids on one call. I couldn't help them, but through building relationships, I was able to network, and I got a guy that said, hey, if you ever get this, call me. We got a lady that she says, hey, if you ever get the pregnant lady or that lady with that one kid between this age, call me. So when that single mom with the baby calls, I know who I'm sending her to. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got a message from a lady that her rent went from $400 to like $900.
Yeah.
And she's contemplating suicide and all that jazz. Now I've been begging her to come take a tour at the women's facility, right? Trying to get her to get out of this little rut that she's in, but I don't know. But those are some of the things that we see in our population. They talk amongst themselves, as you know. I pick up what I can pick up when I view the cameras, but for the most part, anybody that has an issue, they pretty much let us know. Now, I do have a father-son combination that Cindy is very suspicious about, and I feel a little tension with him because he always got a million excuses. I pretty much let him come in. He didn't pay a deposit. He hasn't paid any rent yet, anything. So I'm like, okay,
right.
Either I'm gonna have to, because she's not gonna let that slide. She's gonna tell me.
Absolutely not. Yeah, because we have to set a precedent in regards to, hey, this is what's expected. In the real world, it's expected, and here is expected too. So if we're not preparing them to be out there in the world doing what's needed in order for them to really sustain or obtain housing, I mean, we're doing a disservice. So totally get it. Totally get it. Keep your eyes open on them.
And he's Absolutely. Not. They don't fit the population of the I quote unquote homeless, the one that's down and out.
Right.
They transitioned from Florida. I don't know why there's so many Floridians in Ohio, but they're everywhere. So and it's like So they come from Florida. It's a father and a son, and like they just have so many different reasons as to what's blocking them. But I see them come in with bags from the store. I see them doing different things. I don't say anything. So I sent him a message and I told him, if living here is overwhelming, just pretty much let me know. It's not a big deal. So we'll see what happens, as that kind of plays out.
As the
and Dornico's the type that will give somebody a chance. If they say, I'll pay you next week. And my thing is, don't even let them in the door without paying something.
And you'll hear us say that a lot of times we do take people on their word. Key component of that is everybody needs a hand up. And we do that because, people will show you who they are in that. And that's how that's where you can now say, okay, because you guys are building something in your area, right? You all will be a launching pad for so many other people in regards to the HRA program, just being good mentors to other Forston consultants, families that are joining in your area. So you're going to be a resource. Like, look at our private group where we're educating and explaining different things on a regular basis in regards to, hey, this person has a tendency of not wanting to pay. Hey, you guys are going to become that hub in that area. So what people don't realize is that they're going to start burning bridges if they aren't. And that's a good speaking point to your residents. Hey, listen, guys, this community is very small. If you start burning down these bridges now, you're going to run out of options. So that's a great thing to start verbalizing, because what they'll end up seeing is that it's the truth.
That's true. And also, we can it can go the other way around. So some of these people who have been evicted, we could actually act as a good reference for them to be able to, get housing independently, So, yeah.
That's what's happening right now. The community has accepted Fresh Start Housing of Dayton.
Nice.
Not so much us, but they accepted Fresh Start Housing of Dayton as an affordable housing option that's different, fresh, new, and people from everywhere are coming to us now. The district attorney's office specifically likes us because we have we place them instantly for them. And I think they like that because they didn't want him to leave town, and they wanted him in a safe spot where they can keep track of him. So they got eyes on him. I know that. That house is being watched all the time. I haven't let any of the guys know that, but I know that they keep surveillance on that house because of that guy. He got a court case where he may be going to jail. So,
right. Yeah.
So I say, okay, cool, fine, no problem. Wow. But to have a corrections officer and soon to be a cop. The cop is the last spot of the men's house. He'll be here in September. Now, having a cop need housing says a lot about where we are, as a country. To be there, and I don't mean to step on this box, but to be able to send $1 billion to another country when your country is bleeding says a lot about our leadership. It says a lot about what they view as important, and that's kind of disheartening,
You guys have said so much. I mean, we could sit here all day and talk. I do have another question, and I know Cynthia is busy out the gills. I know both of you are. Let me not just say Cynthia, but I definitely wanted to ask this question. What would you say has been the highlight of having consultants at your just available to you during this journey? What would you say that is? Because I get questions. I actually had a call. I did a strategy call yesterday with a young lady who's very interested in jumping out and starting an ILF, wants to choose the platinum package, but doesn't feel the need to be consulted, really doesn't know much of anything, but just feels like, yeah. So give me
I'm gonna say, sister girl, you are wrong. You need You need consultants because you have to know the right verbiage to say, especially when you are talking to the landlords. Because if you really stop and think about it, it's really a scary thing if I'm renting houses to say, I house the homeless and I need to rent this out for that purpose. Well, they're going to probably tell you to kick rocks every time. All right, so you really have to know the right things to say. And I'm not going to, be specific about that, but you need to know the right way to get your clientele. You're not going to, it's not going to be easy. You can try to figure it out, but it's going to take you a lot longer to do that.
Yeah.
So I know you probably have a lot more.
No, it's for me. I can understand. I'm in the middle on that because if you notice, the calls kind of slowed up abruptly. I felt that I owed it to all these other people that really, really needed to talk to you guys. I owed it to have time for them. And I'll say, okay, well, I'll just call when I really, really need something, or I'll just call when I'm at a point where I have no other choice but call, because I knew there were some people that needed you guys more than I felt we needed you guys. Now that may have been wrong, I don't know, but I knew I wanted to work a little hard and earn that phone call because I wanted to say I did A, B, C, or D in the phone call.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to call you guys and had done no work, had done nothing, or accomplished nothing. So then I started thinking, well, maybe that was like in the beginning, but then I'm like right now, reassurance still helps, knowing that, because now we're dealing with things we ain't touched in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm about ready to discharge some people. Okay, how that conversation sound? Okay, let me see. So everything is more fluent now because it's not a script. You learn the how-tos and you learn what is proper, but then life and how you feel about the thing, and it becomes living and breathing. That moment has to be genuine. Even when I, talk to whoever about us being their option to go with, I'm having a real moment. And within that real moment, those series of questions come about, and I'm writing everything down. And then it goes on to the ask, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel this is because I always tell them, come vet us, look us up, everything you see.
Exactly.
Look us up. And
exactly.
Come see the place, look at everything, touch everything, and then decide. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure I do that part after the assessment because I need to know all their business and see how crazy you are and what kind of threat you are to me and the other residents, right? So if that checks out, then I extend an offer for them to come and tour the facility. During that time, I'm watching to see if they really like what they see, but it's been good reviews and that kind of thing. But
there's never been a time that we've reached out that we did not get a response. So it's very well worth it. And here it is. How long have we been in this for? About 6 months now, and we can still reach out.
Yeah,
it's amazing how time flies.
Yeah,
it's like, man, it feels like just yesterday, but. Yeah, I think that, like, for me, and I say this, and people think I'm joking all the time. I knew nothing about this, didn't care to know anything about this because I have my own. You see my degrees on the wall. Like, no, seriously, I didn't, because I knew this was Derek's passion. And then when he did ask me to leave, I was like, you know what? Okay, it's necessary. When a husband asks his wife to do something that, to me, that drastic, it was like, okay, let's do this. But when I say this with all humility. I am being consulted daily. Like, I was in medical health leadership, OR, surgeons, doctors, like that was my thing. So now to transition on this side, I need Derek and Otis. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying that because we're family. There are situations that I'm like, okay, Derek, how do I handle this? I don't know how, unless you've been in the field, know the field like the back of your hand. I watched somebody, Derek's that person. He was in the field, and I watched him not sleep for months. behind getting these houses up and running, and the phone calls, weeding out the good, weeding out the bad, making sure we had the right clients and stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to share from your experience the importance of that, because I mean, I know how important it is to me, and I'm a consultant, and still it's I'm a consultant that's still being consulted, so I love it.
That's the thing with anything you do, it's always a learning experience. You can't go into it thinking everything, because you're gonna find yourself failing. So the thing about it is the blueprint is already put in place. So rather than learning from your mistakes, why not go to somebody who's experienced it.
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna share something what you say.
Absolutely.
I'm like, y'all the example, and I love that example. Living in this moment right now, as far as the Ridgells, I see a lot of what Cindy's asking of me, and I'm gonna try to give her all of that, because I know that day is coming when I want her away from that job, and let's bust this thing wide open. I feel that Fresh Start Housing has been operating with one hand tied behind its back. Like, it's not full capacity. It's like the way I want to get at this thing, the way we could actually get at this thing is mind blowing when you think about it all day. I probably think about it too much. But yeah, I obsess with things. My family would tell you, when I get on something, I'm like obsessed with it, or they talk about me a lot for that. If it's a movie I done seen, I done became the character. I've been all of the characters. I take on their little personality traits, and I'm walking around like them, and that's kind of, I guess it's creepy, but I can't help it.
Well, we know the options. So we know that Miss Cindy is going to be leaving corporate America sometime soon. It has been spoken
to everybody.
It's been spoken into the atmosphere. So
they're gonna fire me today.
No, you're good. You're good. No, we're just saying that I think anything worth having, especially if it's yours, is worth building together.
That's right.
It just brings a whole different set of values to it, and you can really establish things the way you want to establish it. I have one last question for y'all, because I am not going to keep you all day. I know Derek's going to probably be like, I want an interview too, because Shay got an interview. You know how they do. Come on, Sin. You know how they do. Yes, I'm talking bad about Derek on his channel. I love him though.
You told me to say some great things about him. You said make sure you talk good about him. So I got to talk good about him. We got nothing but good things to say about him. Yes, your husband did text me and say that.
I love it. See, listen, guys, Derek is always like, he's like the eye in the sky. He's like Big Brother. It don't matter what I'm trying to do on their YouTube channel. I'm always going to get taken under by the text message.
Hey, I don't think I was supposed to put that out there. I'm sorry, bro.
That's going to be that has to... That's staying in this interview. But my last question for y'all is, where do you guys see yourself next year this time as ILF owners and operators? If you can speak what you want out of this journey, out of where you are, out of your business, where do you see yourself? Let's forecast till next year this time.
Next year this time, wow. If things move slow and steady like this, we still will probably be scaling, I hope. I hope also to be infectious in the community. They may not, so we plan on branching. We're in a location where there's other pockets that's not far from us. So it's a unique situation. Even if I wanted to stop at 5 here and do 5 somewhere else and 5, it's a realistic
that's so good
goal. So the thing about it is, there's other people doing this incorrectly and not caring about the people. So if all we do is stir something up within them to make them feel obligated to correct the errors that they're spewing all over the place, that's big in itself, because the client wins, the resident wins, and that's kind of what it's about. like we were talking about in Monday's meeting, these winter
Mm-hmm.
months is coming up. So it's like anybody
Yeah.
set up in this situation, that's like it's a big moment, you know what I mean? Because they're coming and they're running and they're coming in big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, I kind of got things situated. This new house is really filling up fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna be at a pretty much a HRA situation if we ain't got another house. So okay, how do I master this HRA? Well, Derek, oh, you're already doing it. I'm like, I am. Yeah, I
Yeah.
am doing it already. So we had that conversation on the phone where
Yeah.
it was a dub moment because he just brought it to me like you looking at it wrong. You are doing it, and I'm like, yeah, I am doing it. So I think next year we hope rather to just be doing good business, helping people and that kind of thing. But also, there's more people looking at us than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming from our circle. So we got two from our circle that's coming in. There's another one who's
Wow.
who's possibly coming in. She's actually the playwright for the play Cindy did.
Mm-hmm.
So she came in the room last night real late, and I saw her pop in, and I'm like, wow, she showed up. But they're seeing that now. They can easily come up to us and just have us tell them stuff, but we ain't really had that, that type of
Yeah.
situation yet. They say, well, who? And we told them who, and they went and followed
Mm-hmm.
the same rabbit hole that I went down. I was probably guilty. I stayed up till about 4 in the morning looking at all of y'all social media. I mean, I was on every video. And then that's when I discovered y'all Toro stuff. I said, how did I get here? They got cars? It was a shock to me because I'm like, these ain't houses, these cars. That was hilarious.
Listen, it's when you start a business, it becomes infectious and you want to dive into it gives you the freedom to dive into so much other stuff. Our Toro business, we were able to provide jobs for some of our residents. So that was amazing. But we just got to a point where we were so busy, and Toro gets in Orlando, it gets like wild fast. And so we had to scale back. At one point we had five or six cars. And I was just like, okay, this is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're running cars, you're cleaning cars, you got the guys helping. So that's why so we taught Francesca and Jay, and they have about 12 cars.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they've got 12 cars, and they run it as a family. So her son does it, her brother, her mom, like they all do it. So it's amazing what one business can allow you to do, and scale and grow. And one thing about us, you see that once we learn something, it's free game, it's fair game to the family. We give it to y'all so that you can run with it and start just really evolving and growing and just creating a bigger footprint for yourselves. But yeah, as always, guys, this has been amazing. We've talked about you guys. Who are the Ridgells? And what are they doing in this ILF game? Y'all are killing the game in Dayton, Ohio. We are excited. Man, so give us some final words. You've told us where you see yourself next year. You told us, some of the obstacles you face coming into this business as a married couple and how you're maneuvering that. You've also talked to us about the importance of having consultants. Yes. So definitely just share with anybody that's going to watch this, whether it's this year, 2022 or 2032, whenever it is, the importance of what we do and why we do it, and how they can change somebody's life too. And that's how we'll end it. Just give somebody, an importance of what we do. What's so important about what we do? And if they're on the edge and want to do it themselves, just bring them on in, Dornico. Bring them in. Come on, Sim, bring them in.
I think it's one of those situations where you got to be humble enough to hear God speaking to you, and He ain't yelling all the time. Sometimes it's a sweet little voice, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's life literally will either be great because of you saying yes, Lord, or they have to wait, if you will. So that's kind of how I look at it. So
Yeah.
we're only at 3 houses. That seems like we're still doing
Only.
both.
And it's only been since February.
Yeah.
Only at
But
3.
there's people, that you talk to, they're disabilities, I'll say, right? Because they have some
Yeah.
emotional, some trust things. I think all that is
Oh,
debilitating.
absolutely.
So they look and they're waiting for you to prove to them that you're a safe bet. You can be somebody that they can find and take refuge, right? So
Yeah.
they would rather stay out there until they figure that out. So I think that us doing it the right way, we could have took shortcuts. We didn't take no shortcuts. We got good information from good people and we simply applied it. We didn't do anything special. We just ran with what y'all taught us. Didn't know nothing about nothing,
Yeah.
but you told me what to do. Y'all told me what to say. You told me how to say it. And here we are. So if you have great coaches, again, I'm going to come full circle. You should be able to at least get moving enough, and all the other education and the knowledge comes as you move along. The key is to not stop moving. If you keep your feet moving, and that's basically what we're doing, we're moving slow and steady. But I'm starting to count the people that we're bringing in, and these
Yeah.
people are saying, "Hey, can I give one of those testimonials that Buddy gave?" I'm like, "You want to do that too?" I'm like, "Oh man, okay, we'll set that up." I think they want to just simply say thank you in a way that's kind of cool and give them little bragging rights at the house, but nonetheless, it's a thank you. It's a hey
Yeah.
man, you did something nobody would do. There's people out there that's making sure these people aren't helped, and that's awful. But just just little negotiating things, because at the end of the day, they do want to feel good about themselves. They do want
Mm-hmm.
dignity and respect, and being able to pay for something that they see is great. They love that. You know what I'm saying? They have income. So they have that eight whatever. Some of my guys come in with 3,000 a month income. And I'm like, well, what exactly do you want? You can have anything, any room. You want private, what you want? So they come in like that, and hey, the private rooms for me are easy to rent.
Oh,
I
yeah.
get deposits. Everybody's like, yo, man, whatever you need, I got it. Sometimes, and I guess that kind of pushed me to the leniency of trying to help people, because I was rolling at one time getting people just to concur with everything that I said. Now, I never said anything that was sketchy. It never sounds salesy. It was
Yeah.
always straight and direct, and they felt the love that we were pouring on them. So I think with that said, it's like I want to continue being that. We should continue doing it God's way.
Exactly. That's
He'll take
it.
care of everything else.
Well, very briefly for me, I just want to say that when we took our first lady in, she looked at this house and she said, "Wow." She said, "This is what I want my house to look like when I get one." And I'm like, "Wow." So I think this gives us the opportunity to set the standard. We're not only setting the standard
Mm.
for others who are actually putting people in a clean home, but we're setting the standard for their living environment. So if
Yeah.
they move out of there, they're not going to want anything but this. So I see this as an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, you said it plain. You said you're gonna have to pioneer that area. Okay,
Mhm.
I figured
Yeah.
that out now. Now it's the ecosystem. Let's go. All right, everybody that's saying we want in, we're gonna do this. We partner with
Yep.
Fortune Consultants. We like, okay, great. If you're not full, we're gonna fill you, and we're gonna do that through HRA because we're gonna be compensated for the work that we're gonna do. And you just get that house. So I'm like, yeah,
Come on.
I can play that game. Let's do that. So it's fun and it's exciting to see their excitement. Daryl was
Yeah.
excited. Shonda, they were engaging. I'm just sitting there. I'm tapping her on the shoulder. They're responding. I know it sounds so crazy to her because she was working on a song. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tapping her like they're responding, and she like, yeah, I know. Okay. But just to see them chatting, I'm like, they're actually chatting stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. So it just lets me know. And I had conversations with them at church. Shonda's all the way in. If she
Yeah.
gets that house, she comes in with 2 houses. She comes in 2 ILFs, and she's pushing. Her and her husband, they're pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? So Daryl, he's got a multi-level house. He's already set up, and they own it. So they got an edge on us. We are in buy options, with the
Yeah.
places that we have. But I think it's purposeful. It's something that we can do and be better at doing. Yeah.
So, guys, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. You're hearing this not from Derek, not from Otis, not from myself. You get to hear this from the lovely Ridgell family, who are trailblazing they are literally pioneering, like I said, they are pioneering the course of ILFs in Dayton, Ohio, and the outermost parts, because they're going to be taking this to other areas. So, I mean, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We see you guys doing amazing things. Thank you for sharing your story, taking time out of your busy day and hanging out with me. Yes, I'm special. Even though Derek tried to jump in and steal my shine by sending text messages and stuff. Tell Derek go sit down somewhere. This is my segment, man.
Yeah, Derek Forston is an amazing man, and God has his hand on that brother. Let me tell you.
He find the wife, find the good thing.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
People who find a wife find it a good thing.
Amen.
But
Amen.
I'm telling you guys, it is always a pleasure. I am definitely going to be once I finish all those other interviews with the other couples, we're gonna just do a couple house party, man. I think that'll be awesome. To get other couples together, other ILF owners, it doesn't even matter, couples. But what I really wanted to identify in this segment and in some of these interviews was the importance of power couples. And I think when people start seeing that couples, especially those that look like us, doing things that are not self-centered or self-driven, but really being the hands and feet of God in this season that we're walking through. It is just so important to do so. Again, I thank you guys for trusting Forston Consultants, for allowing us to not just be consultants, but family, for allowing us to speak into your lives, as well as consult you on ILFs. So again, guys, it's been amazing. I got to hang out with Dornico and Cynthia.
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you for watching. Again, if you have not already, like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. That is Instagram, Facebook, and the lovely YouTube at Forston Consultants. Click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, get a notification every time I drop one of my new or anything new that comes from Forston Consultants. I'm being a little partial here today because it's all about Shay. Anytime a new episode drops, definitely be notified of that. Put your comments in the comments below. Again, like I tell you on all of my segments, you see my amazing border that's right underneath us. It says helping the homeless one shirt at a time. Go to that link down there in the description and purchase a shirt that has a purpose to help us expand what we do, expand the opportunities of living and providing some form of meeting a need for any of the ladies or any of the people that we house here through Forston Consultants. Again, it was amazing. Thank you to my amazing guests, Dornico and Cynthia Ridgell, and we will see you all next time on Straight Talk with Shay.